Hello again. Seems that you found me again. And, of course, it's pretty hard to find me. I give you props, but I'll continue the story for you. Let's get started. So, we continue the story where Takeo woke up from his nap and then got up and trained with Kam Kanano. Of course, he's as fast. He he immediately smacks her hand away and then splashes her because equal rights. And Takeo just blitzes the girl and taps her on the shoulder. 3, well, I think the third one was blowing into pipes, and he just blows it up. And then they keep going bigger and bigger until he blows all of them up. So, he's already skilled enough to do that. And then Deku just... I'm sorry, I just remembered a story from the past. But, Takeo then heads to his shop, gets his clothes on, just proceeds to say that he's going to leave now. But everyone just said he has to stay and rest, even though the guy was cleaning up all the exercises. So he just proceeds to just sit and meditate, about his family being gone in a sauna. And he just keeps thinking about Takeo keeps thinking about his family and what could have you have done if he was there? Because he'll never know who killed his family. Because he doesn't have Tanjiro's thick head, kindness, or his impeccable smell. Man, that was confusing. Still, I miss him. Not Nezuko with her completely kind heart, and her being so rowdy when someone disses her. Our family. Then his 2 younger siblings. Then he starts crying. Then then we do a time skip to the point where the training is done and everyone's back to top health. So now we get to zoom in on Takeo, who has absolutely smooth skin. Because, he's been in the sauna for a while lately. And then and then Deku just eats Takeo, then walks, and then to get his mission from the main guy himself. But, the bird says that you're going with a guy named Rengoku. You're going with a man named Rengoku, the Flame Hashira. Oh, okay. And then he turns around saying, same for you two. Come on. Those two being Inosuke and Zenitsu. Then they head out. Then they're walking around on this train with and then Takeo, look at this funny scene of him just draining in quality, being confused. What is that? Zenitsu gets also drains in quality and gets shocked, saying, You don't know what the fuck a train is? No. Oh my god. Then Zenitsu explains the train to Takeo. It's like, oh. So, Deku just, well, not Takeo. My goodness, I suck at remembering names. Especially a guy that gets no screen time. And then Takeo gets on the train. And then finds Rengoku, because he legit looks like a slayer. Like, have you seen this guy's drip? Actually, drip is a kind word. This guy has no fashion. Love the cape. Everything else sucks. Hair, goofy. Takeo then starts roasting Rengoku. Goku doesn't let that slide because, you know, he hurt his best buddy, so he goes to swing at Takeo, but Takeo, this time, blocks it because he was training this whole time. He wasn't just chilling in an area. My bro was training. So now you can see what that's gonna do to this story. And then Takeo just stands there and then falls asleep. And then, then Takeo. Oh, then Takeo dreams of his family again, like Tanjiro would do, but instead of the whole tricking him into thinking that it's good, that instantly turns into all of them becoming demons and trying to kill Takeo. Because Takeo does not have the pure heart. He has very dark intentions to whoever killed his family. Very dark intentions. So, the guy tries to go stab Takeo's soul until the guy gets grabbed by a shadowy figure. Then it snaps his neck. And then the guy doesn't wake up. Yeah, Takeo killed him with his pure mindset. If you're wondering what the shadowy figure is, let me go back to the shadowy figure, and the darkness fades through them until it just shows Takeo shirtless with bites all over him and a cut straight through his mouth like a obro. And then he wakes up and he instantly finds the people making everyone sleep and then kills all of them. He kills all the ones that have knives. Even ones that are actually innocent, who are just holding a knife at the time. He kills them too. So, Takeo killed people that didn't deserve it, and killed people who did deserve it, so... Still not even that you killed innocent people. And Takeo just sheathes his blade again. And then the tendrils show up, and then Rengoku deals with them instantly. Except, the ones next to Takeo, because he hates him. Yeah, Rengoku actually hates a person. Yeah, he smacked the out of Tengen. Of course he's not gonna like him. And then, Takeo just... Takeo just take care of them with just his axe. And then she's this axe. No, he unsheaths his sword. And then fights the big demon. That Rengoku slices his head off. And so, he hits him with the fire hook? Or is it like scaled hook? I'm gonna call it the scaled hook. It's he puts his blade to his hip and then slashes upward, which then cuts it in half. And then he slashes him a quarter half. And then and a lot of people just die. And then the demon dies. And then he just walks to the next cart without Inosuke, because Inosuke is still sleeping. If you're wondering why, it's because, I don't know, he's just sleeping there. Freaking dumbass. Yeah, but Zenitsu is there to back up Tanjiro because he's sleeping. And then they immediately just blitz the train, opening up the gate with a fire wheel with his sword, with his sun wheel, with his sword instead of his axe, and then just immediately fire wheels again with his axe to the guy's head. You know, it comes off, and then he immediately fuses with the train again, more. And then, yeah, Takeo loses his axe, and then that frustrates Takeo, because that's his favorite axe, brother. He just blitzes him again. Then he actually grabs his blade with two hands, which he hasn't done in a while, then swings hard, cutting the guy's head so clean that if you filled it, it would be smooth. That's so freaking fast he cut his head off. Because it just smoothed his entire head cut off. Which then, immediately dies when with Takeo kicking him like a football. And then they crash. The train crashes. Because something hit him. And then, Takeo goes flying off the train. Seeing his axe flying. And he grabs it. And then he just immediately sheaths both his axe and his just his sword so it doesn't hit him. And he slams onto the ground like, damn. Then and then Takeo looks towards Akaza. And then it's Rengoku versus Akaza. They fade in, of course. It's basically just the same fight as the original. Just go watch the train arc. And then you'll just see this fight. We'll just search up Rengoku versus Akaza. Then you'll see it. Then, well, where things deviate, so Rengoku's trying to cut Akaza's head off, and as soon as the sun starts to come up, Akaza gets scared, and then tears his arm off of Rengoku, starts running, until, guess who stops him? Takeo. He appears in front of him, and slashes his head. So it goes to slash his head, but of course he dodges it with terror in his eyes, because that guy came out of damn nowhere. Then Takeo smacks out of Rengoku. Then he goes flying off, but then he just immediately keeps running, and then Takeo runs after him. Not because he feels bad for Rengoku dying. Of course, Zenitsu and Inosuke are crying over his dying body, while Takeo is running after Upper Moon 1. 3. And then the fight begins with Akaza finally being able to hide in the forest to the point where no sunlight can show up, so he turns around in his stance with fury because the guy keeps chasing him. So, Ta Takeo starts blocking. Takeo starts block, and then stabs into Akaza's hand, then slams his sword into his neck, but Akaza breaks his sword. But then Takeo uses his broken blade to stab into to Akaza, and then Akaza's like, ah, asshole, and then Takeo cuts off his arm with his axe, takes the broke the other half of the broken blade, it makes him start bleeding, takes it out, stabs him in the leg, and then as soon as Akaza takes the hilt of the blade out, it doesn't heal, which he gets scared of because red blades don't make demons heal. And then Takeo goes for his head. So, he blocks it. Akaza blocks it and says, "Do you want to become a demon? Because that wasn't awesome." And then, Akaza immediately breaks his axe, takes out the blade, cuts Takeo's gut open. His organ starts. Then someone says that. And then some people are like saying that would say, "No, his organs fall out. No, he then just immediately he blitzes his wound healed with a needle, and then just takes the thread out." And then Akaza is impressed by their speed and saying, "You wouldn't have to worry about healing if you became a demon." Takeo is blank face, not wanting to talk to the demon. But Takeo is still thinking. And Takeo, without a weapon, just pulls out a secret knife out of his hand. Since he wants backups. He's not stupid. And Akaza goes, "I'm hoping it's not a no." And then he swings at Takeo. Then Takeo stabs him in the wrist, slitting his hand, setting his thing in half, and then he heals it immediately. Goes to swing at Takeo, but Takeo weaves it, just shanks the blade into his neck. It just slits his throat. Doesn't cut in half, which is a bad thing, so Akaza immediately heals it, and then Akaza kicks Takeo in the gut, and then Takeo coughs out blood, goes flying, slams into multiple trees, and slams into one big tree. Then, Takeo is coughing out more blood with so much pain in his organs. And then, as Takeo is bleeding out of his mouth, Akaza appears saying, "So, you want to become a demon now?" And then Takeo looks up, saying, "Do you know the person that killed my family?" And then Takeo explains the past of his family dying, and him becoming a demon slayer because of it. He explains this whole story up to the point where they were fighting. And then Akaza thinks about it, and then says, "Probably the only person I think would know that is my master, Muzan. Since he can actually say his name, because he's an upper moon." Then Takeo then says, "I'll become a demon. And then Akaza smiles with this fury, just pure hype. This guy was super strong, and he got really close to killing him multiple times. So if he perfect created his craft instantly, he'd be just too strong. So Akaza immediately tears off his hand and gives Takeo blood, and he becomes a demon. Yeah, it was painful. Like Takeo started like coughing and bleeding. Yeah, this is gonna be a strong demon since it's part of the Kamado line, who knows sun breathing, and Takeo's main breathing is sun breathing. So this is gonna be a strong ass demon. But for now, he's just a normal demon. He just started being a demon, and then he immediately tests his demon strength, with Akaza being surprised that he already knows that he's already demon because it took him several years just to become one. But it took him seconds. Then Takeo turns, destroying the big tree behind him, which just with a clean slice. And then Takeo smiles with this also aura that makes it feel stronger. Then, of course, Akaza explains that he must check in with Master Muzong, and then Takeo says, "You can tell him my presence, but I ain't going near him. So if I do, I'm gonna go straight for his head." Then Akaza, also not really liking Muzong because he won't let him roam free because he really just would like to. And then he really likes. And then he really wants to. Not. Akaza really wants to become a human again, but he knows if he tries that, he'll probably die. He misses being a human sometimes, but usually it's obviously taken over by his memory loss. And Takeo and Akaza just walk until Takeo feels Muzong's presence, and then Akaza says he can move back now. But sadly, luckily for Takeo, Muzong didn't feel his presence, because his presence isn't really known anymore. Like his aura isn't showing anymore, mostly. And that is all Takeo did. Then Takeo started training his body again, until the knife he used to own. You know, the knife he was owning before he died. Then he touches it, burning his hand, and then infuses his own blood to it, and then makes a Nichiren blade out of it. So basically, he's Upper Moon 1 type skill. And then he starts training with his blade again and this new fury and speed. And then he just punches into the ground. And then he grabs this ore, pulls it out. Then it burns his hand, and then he fuses it with his blood, and then molding it into a axe. Yeah, that was already the Nichiren stuff. It was right next to Muzong this whole time. And then Takeo started training with his abilities, but he doesn't know. But then he leaves. Akaza appears again and tells him to leave, with Akaza being his skin boiling and coughing coming out of him. He tells him to go train and become stronger. And that's what Takeo does. He leaves and trains for a long period of time. So basically, the basically the time skip towards the basically after the I don't remember what it was called, but it's the arc with Tengen in it. And then, you know, everyone assumes Tanjiro's dead because Takeo's dead because, he ran after Akaza up on Moon 3, so they just assume he died. But no, he's a demon. And then Takeo just trains till then. Then Muzong finds this demon massacring a whole village and eating it. Yeah, he already ate people. Don't worry, he only ate men since he really respected Akaza, so he wanted to work like him. But, so Muzong's blood barely affected any emotion from Takeo. Takeo's basically the same person. And then and that is all and that is all and then we go to the swordsmanship arc. Actually no. Then Muzong says, "Hello there, demon. Do you want to be promoted?" Yeah, so and Takeo, blood starts to boil, but he contains it. Muzong not noticing, because all he sees is this strong guy being able to replace the upper moon 6. So then Muzong offers him the promotion. Then Takeo accepts it, realizing that he'll get close to Muzong in this way if he keeps climbing up the ranks. So yes, the Zenitsu's training buddy does become a demon, but doesn't become Upper Moon 6 because he isn't as strong as Takeo is. And then immediately he just takes over Upper Moon 5's job. I think that was the yeah. He immediately takes Upper Moon 5's thing because he just immediately because then he immediately just bumps up to 4 because after the sword arc. Because I'm just gonna skip the sword arc because he's not gonna be there. And then he's immediately Upper Moon 4. And then Takeo then earns more blood from Muzong. Then he gets stronger, then stronger, until he rivals Akaza. So then Akaza has to share this Upper Moon 3 spot with Takeo. So now Takeo's just that strong. It's just not fair. Except Saxia is pumped, saying, "How about we celebrate your new promotion by fighting?" And then, they hands. Takeo immediately sets a battle by shooting a kunai that came out of Takeo's blood into Akaza's rib. And Takeo makes his blade and then just cuts Akaza right in half. And then Akaza gets grabbed by the wrist and then gets pummeled in the face by open palm strike by Takeo, and then thrown to a wall until Akaza realizes he isn't sharing the spot with Takeo. Takeo's taking the spot, and then Takeo proceeds to break his to pull out the blade that Akaza saw him with at the end, until Tanjiro Takeo pulls it out of his ribcage to show that it's a regular sword, and then you know, then Takeo slams the blade into uh, Akaza's gut, his arm, pinning him to the wall. And then he slowly rips off Akaza's head. And then Akaza gets his head ripped off and then dies because the red Nichiren blade stopped him from healing. And then he slowly disappears with, instead of Takeo being as usual, kicking the demon's head, he slowly brushes his face and completes to clean his face and tells him that he didn't want to do this. It's just if he didn't, then he would have to die. And he can't die without killing Muzan first. And he hugs, then he hugs Akaza with Akaza, then crying, remembering his wife, his, his, yeah, his wife, and then dies. And then we look at Takeo crying and then screams out the top of his lungs because he really did not want to kill Akaza. But if he didn't, Muzan would kill him. And he can't die without killing Muzan. Alright. So that's what Akaza about one. Then Akaza, in the afterlife, sees Takeo crying and says, "Sorry for turning you into a demon." And then that's all. And then we pan back to Takeo. And then walking away, accepting his position as Upper Moon 3. And then he gets more blood. But he doesn't go up to Upper Moon 2. Because, he doesn't feel like it. And Doma is way too strong for him. He knows this. The only way he would be able to rival him is if he got more Muzan blood, which is basically impossible unless he went out to... I'm so sorry. Like, I'd like to take out my tonsils and then shove it down my own throat. Because, oh my goodness, can I stop coughing for like 2 seconds for a single recording? Sorry, broke character for a second. Then, Deku, not Takeo. That's all. Not Takeo then. Thinks, well, I could go to different demons and suckle the tiny Muzan blood they have, and then I'll probably be able to rival him, but if he does that, then Muzan will catch wind and then think he's a traitor, and then immediately suck the blood straight out of him, and then he'd die, because before he turned into a demon, he died. And that's all Akaza. That's all Takeo thinks of. And then Muzan tells him that he's gonna go kill one of his biggest rivals of the time. And if anyone comes to this area, because Muzan's a smart cookie, he knows that they're gonna follow him into the zone afterwards, saying that you need to take care of this guy named Giyu. And Takeo remembers who Giyu was and says, "That guy. Alright." And Takeo then thinks he could ask Giyu And Giyu then Giyu steps through the portal, then he immediately then gets two eyes that say 3 on him, and then Tanjiro, and then Takeo immediately drops the act of Upper Moon 3 and says, "Yeah, I'm a demon. Yeah, I know that. I know. But I want to. I want to. The whole reason I became a demon is so I could grow in strength and kill Muzong. I'm perfectly fine. I haven't lost any of my memories. I'm Takeo. I'm definitely Takeo. I'm not Upper Moon 3, and I'm Takeo. I just need you to help me get everyone on my side." And then Giyu's his same self saying, I'll help you just because I want to kill Muzong. And that's what they agree on, and then they immediately just run past him. And then Giyu tells them to go fight Upper Moon 2 because Shinobu is going there. And Takeo runs there immediately to find Shinobu, Karano, and Inosuke fighting Upper Moon 2, which is Doma, and then Takeo immediately joins in with his Nichiren blade because he still has it, and then starts cutting up, then cuts off Doma's hand after he tries to go strike a Kamado, and then he just loses his arm. Then Doma tries to regenerate it, but it doesn't work because it's a red blade. And then Takeo just smirks. Then the poison of Shinobu affects him, and then he tries to realize that he's bleeding. Then before he can even think, Takeo's on him, cutting his head straight off with sun breathing. He finally uses sun breathing after a very long time. And then Doma dies because he can't regenerate his head from sun breathing. And plus the poisoning, so he would have been dead either way. It's just it was easier for Inosuke and Kano. Inosuke starts screaming because he didn't know Takeo lived, and Takeo was one of his best buddies. That gives him a big hug and just starts. And then Takeo says, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine." Kano being the smart girl she is, she keeps her blade strapped on her, saying, "So you've come to kill us?" "No, I'm betraying Muzong." "Oh, okay." And then, which would technically mean 1 second, and then after Doma's head disappears, Takeo stabs his hand into Doma's limp body, the rest of it, and slurps it into his skin, which then makes him, stronger than Upper Moon 2, which would actually make him a candidate for Upper Moon 1. So that means he's almost as strong as Upper Moon 1. Then he says, "Well, meet me at this specific location," and then it's the location of the final battle of the final battle of the series, and that's all. Then Takeo runs towards Upper Moon 1 area, and then we get a freeze frame on Takeo speeding towards him. And that's where I'm going to leave things for right now. And I hope you liked the video. Like and subscribe. Hit the post notification bell. It helps you know it helps you know what's going on. And subscribing lets you know when I'm about to post content. I just mix those up. post, post, hit the post notification bell to get reminded of when I'm gonna record, and then subscribe because I need the subscribers to grow big, and then I can post more because I feel I have more pressure on myself. Well, bye.